Hello, hello, and eek! And happy Halloween. This is Luisa Heinzel. Thanks for joining me today. Today I would like to give you a flip through this little Halloween journal I made with the latest Ideology Halloween release by Tim Holtz. And of course, I would love if I can give you some inspiration for your own Halloween journals and perhaps some ideas that you want to try out in your own journals for Halloween. So this little guy here is, or let's say the base for this little guy, is made with two components from the Ideology line. And because you can't see that here so well anymore, I will show you a picture on my phone of the original product I have used for making the pages, and that are the folio folders. So here on the top you can read the name of this product, and these are the folders. So there are 6 in total in this package, 2 different sizes, and as you can see they all have these little tabs, one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right, on those 2 different sizes. And these folders are the pages in my journal. You can see that you can't see them when you look here. Look, that is the reason why I have shown you that on my phone, because when everything is decorated and other things are also peeking out here, like these little wings here, then you can't see that so well anymore. So perhaps that is a little help that you can imagine what I have done. The second component from the Ideology line is a mini clipboard, which I've used to make the base for the cover. The mini clipboard is probably better recognizable because of this clamp here. You might know that from the mini clipboard, but when you see that and compare that to my hand, you can also see that this is way smaller than you would expect the mini clipboard to be. Normally it's like approximately this big. To be exact, it's the length, or let's say the height, is the double amount of centimeters, like here. I don't know how I can say that in English. So that means this is only half of a mini clipboard. Let me show you the mini clipboard here so that you can see that better. Mini clipboard, here we go. So I have taken this and then I have removed the clamp. That is very easy. It has screws so that you can remove this clamp completely. And then you are left with this board itself. And I have just measured it and then cut it in half here so that I had 2 pieces. One of those pieces is now here as the front cover, and the other half is here on the back, and here you can also probably see the shape better. It has these round edges. That is really, really helpful for making a journal cover because, you know, round is nice here on the outside. And here on the other side, I have these, you know, not round edges. How do you say that in English? I don't know, but you can see the difference. That's just because I have cut it here, sanded it a little bit to make it a little smoother. And then I had my piece for the back cover, and the other part is here on the front. And then I have taken this and I have reattached it here to the other side. So when the clipboard is in its full size, this thing is here on the short side. And now I have just put it to my new short side of the half of the clipboard. I hope that makes sense. When I came to the idea to cut the mini clipboard in half to make this cover, I also thought, when this clamp is here, why don't I try to get some bone pieces in here? So as you can see, here's a little bone peeking out, and here on the other side as well. So basically it's 2 pieces of a bone. I mean, a bone broken in half. So here in the middle is nothing, but there's the illusion that it goes in here, goes through here behind this material, and comes out here. So that is what my intention was. And I have done that by asking a really, really good man. He is called Gary. I think you know who he is. And I have asked him if he can cut this thing apart, because normally the clipboard, you can of course use it as a clipboard. You can press here, and this then goes up so that you can tuck something under this thing release the pressure here, and then this goes down and it holds the things. Yeah, it's a clipboard and it's usable as a clipboard. But now it isn't anymore, so you can press, but this doesn't move because Gary has taken this, I don't know the word, you know, here is something, this mechanism inside, and he has cut that off so that this piece was loose and this bottom piece was loose, so that I then was able to put that back together just for a visual illusion. And then I could use the holes where originally this mechanism was in to put the bones in. I have first put those in, then I used a little bit glossy accents and put that from the inside to the bone and the metal, and then here a little bit as well, and then I left it alone for a few hours so that the bones had the chance to dry, not the bones, they are already dry, bone dry, dry like a bone, I don't know, you know, that the glue could dry completely. I was not so sure if that can really hold over a longer time, so I have additionally taken some grit paste and put that in here. I can't show you that anymore because of these hairs and, you know, this fluff here, but there's grit paste inside to make sure that the bone has really much material to grab, and grit paste dries really hard so that it's like, yeah, it's a texture paste, but it's somehow in this case like glue as well. I glued this stuff on here with glossy accents as well, only here on this little edge to make it hold in place. And then I have added some grit paste behind here as well. I've taken a spatula and put that in there so that you have, yeah, something like a filling behind here which connects these pieces, and then, you know, it's really sturdy and durable. When I made this, that sounds so arrogant, but I was inspired by my last Ideology Halloween journal, by my own journal. I was inspired by myself. Think about that what you want, but that has to do with my, what is the noun of amazing? Amazement? Is that a noun? My fascination about the Ideology products, and I really, really, really love to build scenes that have either a door or a window, a gate, and something like tiny elements laying around. I really love that. And for last year's Ideology Halloween journal, I did something pretty similar. There was a door, also a character here, also wings and that stuff. I will link that video down below for you so that you can check that out. And I thought I want to make something similar to have a second part of last year's journal. And I also like to display, and perhaps that's an idea for you as well, my journals in my craft room during the seasons and during like holidays and celebration days, like Halloween. Do you know what I mean? So when I take this and put that as a decoration in my craft room like this, because it can stand by itself, I can take my journal from last year and put that next to it, and I have a whole scene. I made a second make last year, which you can also put to a table, and also I made a second make this year, which you could also add here, and then you have a whole Halloween scene. My second make from this year doesn't fit so well to this color palette because it's white Halloween. Yeah, it's not so grungy and that stuff. It's completely white. Doesn't fit so well, but that doesn't matter. I have Halloween decoration. And when you are like me and you don't like Halloween decoration bought from stores, then this is perfect. And that is one reason why I thought, why don't I make a second part of my journal from last year? And the other idea, also inspired by myself, I'm so sorry, is the idea I had in the last journal as well. For my last journal, from last year, I have taken the photo booth photos, and I have taken different photos and I have torn them in half and then put two halves of two different photos back together to build a new character. Looks so funny. And yeah, there are videos about that available as well. I will link all of that down below for you so that you can check that out. If you have missed that, or perhaps you follow me not for such a long time, then you can check that out. Perhaps you haven't seen that yet. And because of that idea of this puzzle of a character, I came to this idea. I thought I use the faces from the sticker book. These are rectangular photos, even with the frame around. You can't see the frame here because it's behind this window. I have cut that down, but you will see it inside of the journal. I have taken the heads. So on those photos, there are only heads, no bodies, no legs and that stuff. I mean, legs is also body, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just the faces. And I have taken the legs from the paper dolls and a moth to make this little character here. And I find that so funny. I don't know how you see that, but when I had this arrangement, this was the first try, because, you know, you have to try out if something works or not. I had that laying on my desk without all of the mediums. You can see here's crackle paste and a little bit of, you know, matte gel medium, no, collage medium. I'm so sorry. You could use gel medium as well, but this is collage medium to make it matte. These splatters on the moths haven't been there, but when the raw materials have been laying there, I was like, that is so funny. And I'm so hoping that the people out there who see this will find that funny as well. That sounds a little bit weird, but always when I come up with an idea, of course, I mean, I have to be happy with that. But when you are happy with that as well, and you find that, for example, in this case, funny as well, that makes me happy. Yeah, and then I'm proud that you like that. And of course, I want to inspire you. So I'm so hoping that you like this idea. Yeah, so the moths are new. Thank you, Tim, if you perhaps are watching. This is so, so great. I mean, we knew the transparent butterflies from transparent things, but these are, I mean, butterflies are also great, yeah? And butterflies, by the way, solve every problem. But moths, I mean, what the heck? So I was totally in love when I saw them for the first time. They are transparent as well. So, so cool. And you can do so many things. I mean, look how dimensional this looks when you just, you know, put something behind so that they are not completely flat. So cool. And they look somehow so real. I mean, with this nail, you know, Halloween real-ish or so. So this little character is peeking through this window. She has a little friend here. I came to the idea to add this owl in the very end, after this was completely finished and the gate was glued and everything, and I tried to bring that behind here. That was not so easy. I mean, look, I can't even put my finger in here, but now she's there. And I think that looks really, really cute. These little wooden signs, it's baseboard. Yeah, it's baseboard material, but it looks like wood. So cool. I immediately thought this piece will go to my cover. And I wanted to write a little word with these letters, which also came with the new release. Originally, they are white. I've painted them with black acrylic paint. And I thought what word could fit on here, because, you know, this is relatively small. And I thought, yeah, let's use eek. That is cool. And by the way, you know, English is not my mother language. And when I learned eek, then I was really happy to have a new Halloweenish word in English. That is cool, because this is not existing in German. This expression, we don't know that in German, and that is that makes me also feel more connected to you as my English viewers, and that is, yeah, always something special. For this little arrangement here, I used very similar items like last year. For example, the bouquet flowers, some moss, these little candy pieces, some bones. If you have seen the other video from last year, you see that it's really, really similar, but it looks totally different. On the other make, I had way more bouquet flowers, way more stuff laying around here. I couldn't do that here, even if I love decorating those covers and building those scenes, but I couldn't do that because this little shelf is not so deep like it was last year, on last year's journal. And I didn't want to make it deeper so that I would have had more space for decorating and putting stuff, because then the proportion of this whole thing would have been somehow weird. Look, when you look at it like so, and from the top, I think that would have looked a little bit weird. The cover from last year's journal was also thicker. There was a little door which you could pull open with the help of a spoon. And because of that, it was way more like massive somehow. And also the spine was totally different. Last year's journal I made from a really vintage book, and that had this original spine of the vintage book. And here I constructed the spine by myself, and it's not so massive somehow. It's not so bookish, because you see that this is obviously decorated, and it's not like you would have spine from a vintage book. Yeah, it's like, it's a spine, yes, but it's not looking like a book because of this, you know. So here I have taken another piece of this stuff here, this wooden window thing, and I have split the layers to make it not so thick, because this frame here is also this baseboard material, and you can see it's this thick. Can you see this top layer? There's this black, that's the clipboard, but this is the baseboard frame, and that is way too thick to bend it because my spine is a little curved. I have used a material from cereals packaging, but from like these, it's a package like the Pringles packaging is, you know, these cans from the Pringles. You can cut a piece out, and because of the sturdiness of that material, you can have the spine curved, and you have no problems that it will get flat with the time and using the journal. And that is a similar material, so it's really hard behind here. But if I would have taken the original baseboard material and tried to bend it, that would have been not possible because the curve is too much. So I have split the material and just taken, yeah, you know, that is made from different layers. And I have taken just the top layers, a few, and this is approximately a third of the thickness of the original material. But with this packaging below, it seems to be thicker, but the trick is that this base layer of the packaging of this can has the curve and is thick, and this is just bent around and then glued on top. I've additionally added some these things, brads, but these are just for decoration. They hold nothing. Yeah, it's just that it looks interesting. And to get this look of this wooden window thing all around the whole cover, or basically to get this wood all around the cover, I have used these things. These are new, these wooden pieces here, and they look so real. Oh, I mean, this is baseboard as well, the same like these quote thingies. And you can, of course, as the other baseboard things as well, sand them. I have done that here a little bit, and then I've added black acrylic paint and a little bit of collage medium to make them matte, because the whole stuff is matte. Also on the moths I have collage medium. They are medium matte, because, you know, when you put collage medium on such a glossy surface, you can't expect that it gets totally matte. You would then probably need way more layers, but I was happy with this because then they look also a little bit grungy and used. Have I said everything? Oh, perhaps you want to know that I have put one of these transparent things behind the window to get it like, you know, a glass effect. There's this spider web on the transparency. I think that looks really nice. Normally, I mean, when you take that out from the package, it's glossy, like the moth is glossy. It's approximately the same glossiness like acetate is, but I wanted to have that matte. But I find this really interesting with this spider web, how that comes out when there's some matte collage medium on there. Especially when you, if you want to make photos of a project, or if you have a lot of light in your room, or like spots of light, then it can bother that something is glossy. That's also a reason why I did that, because it's of course way easier to make a photo if you have only like a small glossy area with this transparency of the moth than having, you know, multiple glossy things like transparent pieces or so. Here's also some crackle paste. No, I'm always mixing up those words. Oh, I want to bite into my own, you know, this thing on the back of my body. Crackle paint, not paste. Crackle paste is opaque, crackle paint is translucent. And that's what I've used here, crackle paint, to make this look more Halloweenish and a little more grungy. So let's open this and let's take a look at the second character. So she's like the opening character, and then here we have him on the first page. And I'm so hoping that you find that funny as well. I mean, that is something really extremely hard to do, recording this video here now, because I know that you have already seen this in Tim's live video. If not, you can watch the replay by clicking the link down below in the description box. But if you have seen it, then you have seen it. And I'm sitting here right in front of the day where I will put this into a box and ship it to him. So I haven't seen his live video where he shows this when I record this. And that is always so strange. And knowing that you will see that way later in the year, that is so weird, because I have the feeling that I'm in a time machine or so and like jumping between the months. And that is so weird. And my excitement, of course, is really big. So I want you to know that I am interested in what you think about this. And I don't want to sound arrogant or so, but I find this so funny. And I'm so excited to hear your opinion about that. And I can't wait. I just can't wait. I would like to publish this tomorrow from my time from today, but I can't. I just can't. I have to wait. And that is just so crazy. Yeah, so he is the gravekeeper, obviously. I gave him a little bone here in his hair. This is just some fluffy stuff I got in a Happy Mail, just at the right time in my life. Perhaps you want to know that when I'm, perhaps you want to know it, what I'm saying next, that you can understand my situation. While I'm recording this, and also while I created this, I was still in the situation of my move from from Austria back to Germany. When you see this, I mean, I'm hoping that today, I mean, it's October for you. And yeah, when you see this, I'm really hoping that I will be finished with my apartment. If not, you will probably, I mean, if I am not finished when you see this, then you haven't seen videos before this video. Yeah, but I'm hoping that that will not happen, but just that you can understand in which situation I created this. I mean, I had my craft supplies around me, but in boxes, and I had to really concentrate what to use and where it is, searching for things and so on. And then I got a Happy Mail with this stuff. And the woman who sent this to me, that was a really big piece of this fluffy stuff. She has written a little note, and she's from Germany, and she has written in German, wenn du dieses Zeug verwursteln kannst, dann fresse ich einen Besen. That means, if you're able to use this weird stuff in one of your projects, then I will eat Besen. Oh my goodness, what is the word? Holy cow. I think I'm freaking out in a second. What is the word? Besen, you know, this thing where witches travel with. Besen, I am sure I know this word. Besen. Broom. Yeah. Oh, it's broomstick. Ah, I know that word. Broom. Yeah. And she said that she will then eat a broom when I'm able to use this. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, how does a broom taste the best? Do you need some ketchup or perhaps salt and pepper? Because I was sure that she has to eat that thing, because I wanted to use this as the hair. And that was so clear from the very first second when I saw this Happy Mail and this stuff. And this is just, I mean, perfect. I don't know what else I could have used for this. I mean, there are many fluffy things available, but look, this is this grayish and white color at the same time. That is really, really nice, especially for Halloween and for such a grungy journal. So here on the left, I made this little floppy, just by cutting one of these round elements in half, and then I've attached that with the tape here. Here I made a little pocket from one of these transparent things with this little hole, and this now holds a tag which you can take out here. And I really, really like that these things with these broken glass came back, and that they are tinted now. Can you see? Well, let me take this out more. Can you see? This is the original color of the paper, which is behind this, and through the hole you can see the original color of the paper. And everything around you, everywhere around, you can see this color of this transparency. And that is so cool, because that makes everything completely vintage within seconds. I mean, I have put nothing on here. Here are only some black and white splatters with acrylic paint, but that is all. The transparency already has this color. And depending on what you put inside, like for example, this tag with this head, look how the colors of this thing are changing when I put this in here. This is just cool. Oh, I love it. Makes it so vintage and so grungy. And yeah, even if you would take a non-Halloween thing, bam, it's just crazy. It's really just crazy. I have just put this transparent thing over the whole page. Before I attached that, I cut a hole, not a hole, a slot in here to be able to put the tag inside. I've just sewn it on here so that it then can hold the tag. I have built all of these characters before I started decorating the pages. And if you want to make something like this, I can only recommend doing that. I mean, for me, it's perhaps a special situation because when you see it, this journal and this idea, all of the ideology items are already released and you can buy them. And you can also buy 2 packages or 4 packages of one thing, yeah? But when we get the things from Tim, we get 1 of each package, meaning I have the sticker book only, I mean, it's very generous, yeah? What we get from him is it's just amazing, yeah? Don't get me wrong. But for a process like this, it's sometimes a little bit difficult because you have to calculate how much you have and how much you need. And we have the sticker book only one time. We have the moths only one time. As I said, it's just amazing that we have it. But if you need more moths and you work with this after the things are released, then you can just buy more. Yeah, I didn't have the chance and won't have the chance in the future when I create something like this. I have to live with what I have on my desk. And if you want to have a book where you have multiple of these characters, then it's probably helpful to make a little sketch or a little plan before you start decorating the pages. And that is exactly what I have done here. I have built all of the characters first. I have glued and sewn them together, attached these little pieces here. And then when I had them all laying on my desk, I could see, okay, on which page can they go and how many will I have throughout the journal and what else do I need on the pages where I don't have such a character. If you don't have enough characters, you can also do a little trick. I have done that here. Just cut one of the characters in half. Then you have 2 for 2 pages. Yeah, you have 2 out of 1. Just put everything together and then when everything is finished, cut it in half and then you have it. In the beginning, I mentioned that I have used these photos here from the sticker book exactly like they were, meaning as a rectangle and also with this black frame. I wanted that these collages look really like weird collages, yeah? So I did that on purpose, that this is a rectangle and the rest is like fuzzy cut out. I mean, the moth is cut along the outline and also the paper dolls are cut out and they don't have a frame around. But I wanted that you can see that it is made from different pieces. If I would have cut around the girl's face and the shoulders here, for example, that would look like I have taken a paper doll and glue the mouth on top. Yeah, because the body then would be like one. And I didn't want that. I wanted that the people can see that this is a rectangular photo and that it is pieced together from different pieces. This you can take out. Then you have this little card here. You could journal on the back here with a white pen, or if you want to use a black pen, just add some gesso here and a tiny coat so that it's a little translucent, that you can still see this backdrop paper, and then you could write with a black pen on here. So that means this is a pocket. Now here for this little thing, or this corner here, I have done the following thing because I have worked with some texture paste and a stencil here. I have taken the moon, so this is the moon, just folded here to be able to attach it to the card there. I have taped that so that I was able to stencil over here with black texture paste without having the moon moving. I can only recommend doing that, otherwise it drives you crazy. I mean, perhaps you have a really calm hand, but the danger is big that that this moves. Because I wanted to have the texture paste here on the moon, and I wanted to have this curve from the moon here in the pattern of the texture paste. That's why I paid attention that it doesn't move while I was doing this, and that nothing from the texture paste comes into this area, because then it would be below the moon and that would be not so nice. Here on these stenciled areas, you can see this gold. That is nothing else than the new Distress Spritz in the color Fossilized Amber. Really, really cool. I'm so in love because this color especially on black, comes out like gold, and I'm so in love. It's like this yellowish gold, so cool. I really like that, and I've done that in multiple spots so that this color goes like, you know, through the journal. And I think Halloween and gold, that is always a good combination, isn't it? The bigger moths I used in a little different way, and I also didn't want to have the journal full of those puzzle characters. Yeah, I wanted to have some other collages as well. So I have, yeah, I think I have taken all of the bigger moths for something else than these characters. So here we have this little, I think these are siblings, I guess. And I have just placed them behind the moth so that it looks like the moth is flying into that direction, or into the direction of this window. But I wanted to have, like, you know, people and moths on my pages as well, because they are part of the collage with the collages with the characters as well, so that we have this theme, this connection theme-wise. Does that make sense? And of course, when you make these collages here, you end up with a lot of heads and upper bodies from the paper dolls, because the legs are here and I have cut the paper doll here, so I have all of the heads left over. Yeah, so I have already used some of those here on this page, you have already seen, and also for this arrangement here. And that is cool, because then you can get two things from those paper dolls if you just, you know, cut them in half and use them, both of the pieces, for different things. Here I made a little belly band. You could tuck something behind here. I haven't done that because, you know, Tim has to flip through this journal during the live, and I want to make his life easy, and I don't want him to have the need of, you know, taking out 100 of tags and that stuff. I love having 3, for example, butterflies or moths in a row, like here. You know, he has also stamps with butterflies in this arrangement. But I'm always thinking about alternatives, how you could do that. And one alternative of this, you know, group of 3 butterflies or moths is, of course, turning them upside down. I have tried this here. That also made that the faces have a little more, yeah, how can I say that? It's like a foreground decoration for these. If you turn them the other way around, you have this straight, it's not totally straight, but nearly straight edge here, and that then goes along here, and that looks a little bit weird. I loved it more when this was here, and I think that looks interesting. And especially for Halloween, turn things upside down. I mean, it's Halloween, yeah, you can do that. This page, the background of this page took me nerves. You can't believe it. I think this is one of the most interesting pages in this journal. I like this really much, but I also want to tell you the truth. And I want to quickly talk about a lot of things I mean, it's always the same topic, but a lot of you have written in the comments below my past videos that it looks like everything in my videos is perfect, especially in those ideology journals. I mean, it's personal preference if you like a theme or a journal or not, but I often get your feedback that you think this looks perfect. And I want to tell you that this has killed my nerves so much. And I'm telling you that because in my craft room, there are fails and fails and fails and accidents, one accident after the other. And when you see a video and a finished journal, it might look perfect for you, but please have in mind that you haven't seen my process and that you haven't seen the accidents that have happened here. And that is why I want to pause a minute here and talk about what happened to me here, so that you can perhaps also get a little bit more self-confidence, I think that is the right word, for what you are doing, because this nearly went wrong. And please have in mind, I had this thing only one time and I was so close to throwing it out of the window, you can't believe it. How have I made this? I had a stencil where on one part of the stencil there were these little dots, and on the other part of the stencil there were these numbers. So this is made with one and the same stencil. The first layer is just some oxide ink stenciled through this circle pattern. I have let that dry, and then I have taken some opaque texture paste, stenciled that through the number part of the stencil. Perhaps you can see it's a little raised, so this is texture paste. And then while the paste was still wet, I have taken some of the new collage paper, the one with the crackles, obviously, put that on top, pressed that very, very carefully because the paste was still wet. And then I have added some water to make sure that the collage paper sticks to the paste really well. I have let that dry. And then I had a, how is that called? Water brush. And I went around here because, of course, this was covered with the collage paper. I mean, it comes in these sheets, and I only wanted to have the collage paper on the numbers, of course, and I had to get rid of the collage paper in between here everywhere. And I thought, well, it's easy. I go around here with water brush, and then I can remove the collage paper. I can't tell you how many really bad words in German I lost in those hours where I made this. That was so hard to get it off and to get the numbers visible as numbers again. Yeah, it looked like grungy and interesting, but I wanted that you can see these numbers somehow. If there is a trick for this technique, please let me know. Please call me, send me an email or a video or whatever, because it looks cool now, but it was so hard to do. And if you want to hear it really, really honest, behind the belly band, there is trash. Yeah, so this belly band, I had this in mind that I wanted to do it, but this belly band is only on this page because behind the belly band there is the fail and an absolute accident. Yeah, but I think it looks good. And I'm really proud. And I'm proud that I could make the best out of this fail because now I really like it. Here I have used the moth by itself without a paper doll as a focal point because I wanted to have the attention on this background here with the stenciling. There, this gold is again the Distress Spritz Fossilized Amber. And I have just added a little bit of lace. I stapled into the body of the moth. I have done that here as well. I think that looks really nice with some metal in here. I have done that with the tiny attacher to have really tiny staples. This 13 is from last year's Idea-ology Halloween release. There have been two different sizes of the 3 and the 1, and I've mixed them here a little bit. I find that really interesting in a corner. Makes it more interesting, I think. And here, oh, and by the way, I know that last year many people have asked me because I obviously haven't explained that well enough for my other journal. It's the same here. Every signature is just such a folder. Yeah, so every signature, or let's say it the other way around, each of the folders is one signature. So I have this page, here's the sewing, this page, and that is the same for all of the folders. Yeah, one signature, here it's different, next signature, and so on. And of course, with doing that, you also have the possibility to turn such a folder into a pocket. So here you can put something in, and then you have a pocket. You know, you have to sew it first and build the construction of the journal, and then you can just glue it here, or like I did, I have glue and then additionally these little brads, so that then everything is secure, but the sewing is then inside here. So here I have made this little thing. I hope that you can see my intention behind that. I have put some two collage strips here, and then I have taken one of the moths and placed them here, and I traced around the moth. And because of the fact that the moth has, I'm sorry. So the transparent part of the moth is a little bigger than the print of the moth is. So that means you have this little space when you do it like I did it here. When you trace around the outer outline of the transparency, you have this. When you then leave, the other part of this thing blank, then can you see? It looks like a little space there. And I went around here with my sewing machine to attach that then there. And I'm hoping that it looks like the moth is like sewn, but somehow free. Like, I don't know the word. Is that good? Hopefully. Okay, so here we go to the next character. He looks so funny. I like this little dress. And, this shape of this moth and the dress here from the paper doll, this little skirt, that makes a nice combination, because the moth is somehow an addition to the skirt shape-wise. I think here are only missing 2 hands. I have seen that too late, but that would be so funny if here 2 hands would peek out from this red part of the moth. I think that would look really, really nice. I've also decorated this one with some of the of the tape directly over his face. I think that looks really, really cool. And you can still see all of the details of the photo through the tape. I really like that. This one, and that is something I want to ask you if you can see that and how you feel about that when you make your own journals. This one was the first one, I mean the first puzzle of these characters I did on those folders. As I told you, I had this in the very beginning as my starting point idea, but here it's a little different because she's behind this window. Here, she is standing freely, I think. And sometimes when I have an idea and I repeat that idea in a journal, and obviously I did that here, I have the feeling that I can always see that this was the first try. Also with digital paper, when I make digital printable paper and I have my first page and I do the others, then I can always in the end see which was the first page. Here, it's completely different. I think this is the first time that I can't see that this is different than the others. And I would be really interested in your opinion. Can you see that after I told it? Or do you think it's like, you know, the same harmony, the same amount of cohesiveness like the others? Or is this like popping out in a weird way? That would be really interesting to know. So here we have this page with a little other idea what you could do with these portraits from the sticker book. This is a little pocket which holds these 2 ephemera pieces here. And what I also find is, you know, this sticker book, yeah, that has these heads, these witch heads, and also this shape, these heads, different obviously, and these little skulls. And it took me a while until I could find places for those stickers where I liked them. And, you know, I don't work with stickers so much. Also, you know, not only these, but also other stickers. Stickers are not my friend. I don't know why. Perhaps I feel weird just taking a sticker and sticking it down somewhere. So I always have to find creative solutions for using those stickers. But then there was this point, and I think that came with this head, when I found fun in decorating the paper dolls with the heads, or giving these die-cut flowers, these skull heads, and skull heads, I think that is not a word, these skulls as the blossoms. That was somehow weird, because I normally don't do that, but weird in a very positive way. And here I used one of those witch heads, and I've glued that to some sturdier paper, and then I've cut it out again. I've even cut this bottom part here off. Perhaps you know these in their original condition. You can, you have a little slot in the sticker, and then you can put that on the head of a paper doll, so that part of this witch head is behind the head, so that it looks more realistic. And I have cut that off because here it was not possible. I mean, with the fluff and with this rectangular photo, that's of course not possible, but you can manipulate them, of course. And I think here, with backing this with a sturdier paper, it looks even more dimensional, even if it's a sticker. I mean, it's a sticker, yeah, but this looks so real. This print is so gorgeous. I really like that. So, yeah. And I was also surprised how many surroundings I could find for these characters. Here, for example, I have taken this oval frame, put some collage paper behind here with this house so that she has a background. And now it looks like this house was in the frame and she's standing in the foreground, in, yeah, not in the frame, but, you know, here with me. And that is, of course, like a very different collage than I have on the other pages. Here I've puzzled the background together with some collage strips and these little labels and the tape, or here's some of these roses from the layers. And this is somehow different, but I have the feeling that it still looks good and that this is not popping out in a weird and negative way because it is so different. And I find that really interesting because it's the same idea, isn't it? So here I would say this is a very classic idea, classic, I don't know. We know this idea already with the butterflies fly with different layers. I have combined that here with this moth, and this is made really easy. So it's so easy. I think you all know this idea. I mean, if you are interested in junk journals, you know this. But I wanted to show that this is also possible with these transparent moths, and I like the combination of moths and butterflies. So that's the idea behind this. I have taken the Perspective Butterfly die cut by Zizix and Tim Holtz, and I still had this butterfly, and it had it fits so well to the background. So when I saw the background, I mean, I had that first, obviously. I went to my drawer with my die cuts and wanted to pick out the Perspective Butterfly, and then I thought, wait, Luisa, you have something left over that could fit here. Perhaps if you follow my channel, you know this butterfly. Do you remember when I put my junk journal into the washing machine and had then some further experiments with, you know, some really extreme junk journal experiments with different things? From that series of experimenting, I had this left over. It was this half, I mean, it's two halves, yeah, but now it looks like one. But this was from another thing and with other mediums than this. So that's why this looks so different in color. But I think that fits so well to the background and also to the colors of the moth. I had to use it, yeah. And why shall I make it new when I have it already? So I have first glued both of the halves of the Perspective Butterfly to a backdrop, and then I have just fuzzy cut around, made this layer a little bit bigger than the other one so that it is really visible. I've inked around here with some Scotch Timber Distress ink, and then when I have sewn in the signature, I've sewn through the body here of the moth. To be clear, I have first attached the moth with my sewing machine to the folder, and then I have sewn the signature in with the thread. So here is a little tuck spot, so that you can tuck something behind. This just holds this tag, so this is just for demonstration. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's an ideology tag. It's nothing on here, but I just wanted to demonstrate that this is a tuck spot. And we have this here. This scares me a little bit, but I wanted to challenge myself and use this spider piece. Oh. I nearly can't touch it. Yeah, she is there. And of course, you can also give these little animals, like for example the owl, such a head. That looks really funny as well, I think. And perhaps you have also seen that I have made a variation with the moths by also sometimes putting them upside down. That way you can also vary one and the same idea, you know, just put that upside down and then it looks different. And it's also, of course, depending on what you have, which portion you have from the paper doll, if it looks better upside down or in the right direction. I mean, what is right? What is the right direction? There, it's not existing. But also the shoulders of the person on the portrait and the shape of either this part of the moth or this part of the moth make it different. And what I'm trying to say is try it out if it looks better upside down or the other way, and then you can easily decide that. Sometimes it's also not possible to put it in the other direction, because then it can happen that it looks weird with the skirt here, or that a part of a hand is peeking out here from the paper doll and that looks weird and you don't like it. So yeah, that is just, you know, trying and seeing what you like better. He is so cool. He's one of my absolutely favorite paper dolls. I mean, you know, perhaps you know that my favorite paper doll is this little boy I have used on my last Halloween journal for ideology. So if you don't know the boy, check out the other video. But he is, yeah, he's on the second place of my favorite paper dolls, I would say. Yeah, just a little lace, a little safety pin. Really cool. Here's the second half of the little character puzzle. I have, you know, I have cut that in half. The other one you have just seen there. And I think this doesn't even look like cut in half. It looks like it's here on purpose. Here I have done it a little differently with the hair, because I didn't want to put it here, because I had, yeah, somehow a problem with getting this proportionally right, because when I put the hair to the other characters, I have covered a lot of the hair which is on the photo. Here you can see the hair is still here. Let me show you on this page here. Look here, for example, I have tried to cover up the most of the hair so that it looks not so weird. With the woman here, or here, for example, you can't see any hair on the photo anymore. And here I've tried to, yeah, make a connection between this hair and the hair on the photo with the head, so that you have the imagination, not that is not the word. Oh, I can't talk anymore. You won't believe how many videos I already have recorded today. This is the 4th video I recorded today. I can't speak anymore. I'm so sorry. I have no time. And I want to make this good and that you enjoy it. Oh. Okay, so I want that here you have the feeling that this hair and the hair on the photo is like one hairstyle. And with the head in between, you can't see where this ends and the photo starts, and that makes it like a flow, yeah, so that it is like one. And of course, when I put this here, I have a ton of this, and here is still a lot of the face, a big portion of the face visible. Compared to here, imagine I would have covered up the hair on the photo completely. Then I would have only a tiny bit of the face here, because the rest is cut off and it's only a half face. And that's why I decided to make it like this and put it here to the side. I mean, that's a little bit unrealistic, but it's Halloween. We can do it like this. Hair can grow also out of his nose. This can be the second part of his face, or a really big portion of hair, or whatever. And at the same time, it's a page tab, because when you flip this, you have here a little page tab. And this is not only a page tab, but it's also something that covers the back of this material, because the fluff is only on the other side. And here is a really ugly looking like fabric stuff. I think you know this material. It's really weird. I mean, it's the other side of this stuff, and that looks not nice. So I decided to make this little arrangement so that you also have the possibility to flip the page easier, because then with this paper it makes this tab, this fluffy tab, more sturdy. So that then this is the last page with the old witch. She has a little spider here, and this was, I think, the most fun. I think I did this in the very end of my process, and I was like, I already had practiced putting the heads and these little masks and things, and then I came to the idea doing it like this, and also with this little spider web thread here around her head. This was really easy to do, and that is something that also shows that you sometimes have to practice things and do the same thing multiple times after each other. For example, decorating such a paper doll, that you then in the end think, okay, that is easy peasy. It is fun and I like it. And that is the most important thing, isn't it? That you like it. No one else has to like it. Okay, so that's it. This will go into a box and I will ship it to Tim now. That might sound... Oh, I'm so sorry. Do I have a sip of coffee left over? Oh, a little bit. I'm so sorry. That means that we are again in this time freaking out zone. Different time zones, not only because we are probably living on different continents, but also because I record this, and when you see this video, it's way later in the year. For you, it's October, and for me, it's, let me think, the 1st of July. It's today. And I'm really, really hoping that you like this, and I can't wait that you see this. It's always so strange, and it feels so strange because when you see this, I mean, there are a few months in between when I record this and you see it, and who knows what happens in that time and what will come and what are we going to experience together and what are we crafting together. And I don't know that, and that's somehow weird. But I mean, it's Halloween. Everything is a little bit weird, isn't it? So I hope I could inspire you with this a little bit, and perhaps you want to tell me what you think about this, and perhaps you want to do something like this on your own desk. If yes, show it to me, tag me on social media, or send me an email or a private message or whatever. I will be, I'm always so, I'm freaking out when I see something, especially with ideology. I mean, you know, ideology is something different, isn't it? And when I see projects that you made inspired by my projects, and that of course doesn't matter if it's ideology or something else, but you know, ideology is something special, then I'm always freaking out. And I'm so happy when I see that. So if you made something inspired by one of my videos, please let me know and show that to me and show that to the other people. Yeah, the other people want to see it as well. So have a very, very great day and see you the next time. Bye bye and happy Halloween. And